All right, all right. Let me just quickly send this link. Oh, oh man. I don't know about you guys. WhatsApp is being slow as hell on my computer right now. Sorry, guys, just cracking up. What's going on, everyone? Oh god. Sorry, that's one hell of an intro, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Hold on a second. Boom, bang, bingity. Just drop my phone. You gotta appreciate like there's things I would edit out that I'm not because we're live. Like it does take some serious gall to be live. I'm just kidding, guys. I mean, but you gotta watch what you're saying. Let's see here. Hold on. Live on Rumble now. I wonder if anyone comes to the stream from Rumble. Let me know, or from Telegram. Let me know if you guys are coming from Telegram. Indeed. Yo, shout out to Butterman. That was cracking me up, dude. I'm just gonna shout out we're live quick on Instagram too. Nope. Okay, hold on. You know, wool is like a great material. It's all I'm wearing all winter, but it doesn't wipe your phone screen. Um, doesn't wipe your camera. Like it's not good for wiping the lens on your camera. Okay, so here we go. Live. I'm going to announce that we're live on Instagram right now. Stand by. Massive storm. Literally stock up. Say your prayers, but fear not. How's that sound? Um, let's see. Massive storm. Imminent. Outages. Chaos. Um, bandits. Let's think. Hold on. I am actually being serious. Like, if I'm wrong and the storm just kind of willy nillies, what do you have? More food? What do you got? More stuff going on? Um, do you have more gas? Like, you're going to use it anyway, right? Okay, stock up now before it's too late. Polar vortex, apocalypse, nuclear fallout. No. Shout out to Thrax, man, all the way in Nashville. Wow, you and Matt got to hang out, man. Shout out to freaking Matt and Thrax. Okay, we're live on Instagram to let everyone know that we are live on on Instagram. So let's see what we got. Oh, where are my pouches? I'll have to get those in a moment. Actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. I mean, if the coldest air mass in the world is going to be hovering over our heads, like that is a little bit shocking, to be honest. I mean, that's just an odd thing. And then you guys, if you're anywhere in the south, like you're not really worried. If you're sitting at home, the ice isn't going to cave your house in. The snow might not crush your roof, but you might not have power for days, and the highways might be closed. Dude, last winter, the highway to here was closed for like 4 or 5 days. The grocery stores were empty. Grocery stores only have like 3 days worth of food in them at any given time. It is a very fragile system we have going on here, man. So what's going on, everyone? Right now, we're discussing many different things, and if something around the corner is coming, especially if it was planned, but I'm not going to insinuate that on Rumble, of course. I mean, on Instagram. But just so you guys know, the whole reason I'm always talking about come to my Rumble channel is because that's where we discuss things freely, and I don't have to worry about getting a strike and then having to pay $8,000 to get my account back. So that was a nuisance that happened in December. So we are live right now on Rumble, which is at the link in my bio. If you want to come on over to Rumble, I highly, highly recommend. Shout out to Jock28, man. I highly recommend coming over to Rumble right now because I don't want to have to bite my tongue over here and I can't give the full bean spill. But if you, and you guys have great questions too. So come on over to Rumble. It's at the link in my bio, and we'll see you there because then I can answer. Oh, yeah. It's free to download, free to watch, and free speech. But if you make an account on it, then you can comment your questions there, and that is free also. So there's no but, actually. Okay, so I'll see you guys. Yeah, that's happened before. USMC, I mean, that's happened several times, man. They don't want you to hear this. It's just a fact. Otherwise, they don't want. Otherwise, they would be piping people down. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike Johnson. I just explained the reason I start here for a minute and then I go to Rumble. I'm actually on Rumble right now. I'm coming here for a moment to let people know we are live on Rumble, to where if you want to tune into the rest of the live. Sorry, you can't just be. I mean, you actually can view it on your phone. It's so that I don't have to get another strike. All right, big guy. Okay, we'll see you guys on Rumble. We'll see you in 2 seconds. Oh shit, I didn't even end it. There we go. Okay, stand by. I have to get something. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Everyone tell everyone else that nothing strange is going on. I'll be right back. Okay, what's flapping, everyone? No, you're good, Agwin. I just had to get my pouches. So my question is this, everyone. What exactly? Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Swing, man. What's Swing doing? Okay, guys. So listen, this is actually like a little bit hairy now. This is not like a willy-nilly thing. We have something coming around the corner, which could be nothing. But apparently, if even if this storm prediction is like half right, like a lot of people will not have power for like a decent amount of time. Now, of course, officially, weather happens. It gets cold. But I do wonder, ever since the document was released that says owning the weather by 2025, the NASA war document. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's something that you can't talk about on Instagram, but it's called the NASA war document. This is like deep lore. This is like elite ball knowledge. Like if you know about the NASA war document, like you are deep down the rabbit hole. It's a real thing though. And it came out of an old building that either NASA or IBM owned this building, and then they sold the building, and one of the printers in the building had a copy of this freaking thing. um, and it's a document talking about owning the weather by 2025. And who was it who said he who owns the weather owns the world or something? What was the guy quote about owning the weather and world? This was like a major politician. LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, said he who controls the weather will control the world. Wow, interesting. In 1962. So, am I this willy-nilly kind of guy who just figured something out that's fringe and it's not really real? Or has this been planned for a very long time? And as we discussed yesterday, What benefit do they have to modify the weather? You may be wondering, like, how do they benefit from like mass chaos, global droughts, massive fires? Um, how do they benefit from it? Well, for one, you have the whole insurance company thing, which is behind the scenes, which change policies. Like after the wildfires in Northern California, they're not allowing people to insure many houses in many different areas that they say is a high fire risk. And therefore, it's condensing the population into the urban centers. So it's all about 15-minute cities. And then on top of that, shout out to Tyler. That is a great freaking shout out to Tyler, man. That's a good call. I will do that. So you have that aspect of it. But then also, when there was a drought in California for 8 or 10 years, that's order through chaos. Do you know what they did in the 8 to 10 years that California had that relative drought? They created all kinds of laws around water usage and created policies and different things you had to follow if you wanted to use water from your own land. Okay. And this is about food control. He who controls the weather controls the world. So they created this massive drought for like a decade. Said it's because there's too many people driving cars around and it's the carbon. Meanwhile, we know that greenhouses, literally, companies buy a device that emits carbon dioxide into the air in the greenhouse to increase the yield and growth rate of the plants. So it's a vital plant nutrient. And this is what scientists say, who are no longer scientists, because they say this, that carbon dioxide is a vital plant nutrient and that it's imperative. And in fact, it only makes up a little micron of the entire atmosphere anyway. So if it increased by a percent or whatever they say will cause total chaos, that's fake news. Now, do you guys remember, like I remember in school when they pulled us out of class to go to an assembly to watch a couple of dweebs talk about how if the global temperature rises half a degree on average, this many animals will die. If it goes up 1.5 degrees, there's no ice left. Blah, 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 blah. And it was all about global warming. I didn't know at the time, but I was being propagandized. I was getting hit with propaganda. And when I came out of that, I thought, okay, so we're screwed. What do we do now? And I didn't realize it was to program us for the future when they announce all these laws and policies around saving the climate. And at the same time, we know that if they wanted to do something to benefit the environment, because the climate and environment, there's a bit of an overlap, but there is differences. The environment, if we wanted to save that, let's stop spraying glyphosate. Let's lower the dose of fluoride we're putting in the water. And you know what I was thinking today too? Just a side note on this. Did you know that in different countries around the world, the maternity leave is like 2 or 3 years, whereas in Canada and I think in the US too, it's like 12 months. If we live in a society that values children and the future generations of children, I think that there should be a choice. Like obviously, women should be, if they choose to work, of course, yes, work. But there should be an option where raising a family is not seen as like a missing out on working a 9 to 5, but is valued by society enough that they can make a living somehow. Like I'm not saying universal basic income, but I'm just saying if a woman decides to stay home to raise children, which is as important as working at a fucking cashier job, if not 1,000 times more important, that there should be a way to let that happen, which we know in the 1950s that was able to happen even on one income. You could have freaking go on vacation, have cars, trucks, a house, and everything on one income. Think of how fast things changed. And do you think this is happening for the betterment? Or is there a plan to get the children pushed into, of course, state-sponsored education systems as soon as possible and to tax the other half of the population? I mean, it's shocking. And the bat is literally breastfeeding her 6-month-old right now in Australia. Picture Australia and picture breastfeeding. That is what the bat is doing right now, which is a lovely thing, man. I talked about that on a video the other day. I wanted to mention, though, with the fluoride thing, we are finding out there's a doctor who blew the whistle in the 1940s, and he said that anyone who's consumed fluoride will never spiritually be the same. I don't think. Is it really 6 weeks? Shut up, PJ Sue. Someone confirm or deny if PJ Sue is trolling us. 6 weeks? 6 weeks maternity leave. You got to be freaking kidding me, PJ Sue. Please tell me that is a freaking joke. But anyways, this doctor said fluoride will make you never spiritually the same. Other doctors say, ancient, 1800s, 1900s doctors, when fluoride started coming out, they said that it's going to massively change the people's perception because it fully calcifies the pineal gland. I do think it is extremely imperative to be decalcifying our pineal glands during this information war with the PSYOP after PSYOP that's coming around the corner. It's freaking insane. And so, interestingly, right before this live, I was talking to Chalk, which you guys know. Chalk is the supplement company, which is based in Texas. ships out of Georgia, and has an all-American customer service team. They are giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia on this live. And that cacao, by the way, it has the highest antioxidant content, among the highest antioxidant content in the natural world. Super detoxifying, really good for your pineal gland. Apparently, it's one of the top superfoods for your pineal gland. And also, it has Ceylon cinnamon, which you could literally take Ceylon cinnamon as like a supplement in itself. It's extremely good for blood flow, blood oxygenation. Like cinnamon is a superfood in itself, and that is included in the chocolate. So they're giving away 3 or 4 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia in people's orders. I'll explain how the deal works. It is first come, first serve, though. I just put the link in the chat to choq.com, choq.com. And like I said, they also have over 5,000 third-party verified 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. So this is like a legit, they're legit as it gets. The number one supplement, the way the deal works is the number one supplement at choq.com for men and women is the hot water purified Shilajit. So this is clinically studied. It's an herbomineral compound that comes from the Himalayan mountains. It's pro-fertile. It's a hormone optimizer. It's believed to decalcify the pineal gland. And it also stimulates the production of new brain cells. It's called neurogenesis. So Shilajit is like the number one superfood. If you're going to take one and literally cap yourself out at one, it's got to be the Shilajit, man. People talk about it because it's legit. Chris James takes 4 Chad modes, by the way. Chris James is subscribed to 4 of the Chad modes. I think the last I heard, a month. But Chris James, someone is subscribed to 5. There was a guy on here the other day who gets 5 a month. So you did get one up, dude. But 4 is freaking strong. Shout out to Chris James, man. So the Chad mode, 150 milligrams of organic caffeine per scoop, cold water extracted from green coffee beans, and organic blue spirulina, which binds to free radicals, phthalates, microplastics, fluoride, pesticides, heavy metals, and also interesting, even forever chemicals. Forever chemicals, they're not forever in your body. They are if you're always exposed to them and you never detox them, but it's more that they take a long time to degrade in the environment. But you can definitely, your body wants to detox all this crazy freaking stuff we're exposed to. So it's shocking. So the way the deal works is the first 3 or 4 people who go to choq.com, that's choq.com, and you put in your cart a male or female vitality stack, which are different combinations of superfoods. You got this is the male vitality stack right here, which is the daily, the Tongkat, and the ashwagandha. The ashwagandha is in the male and female stack because it's a hormone optimizer, it's a fertility booster. It massively increases melatonin production, so you get 1,000 times better sleep while you're taking it. And anything you take with Shilajit, which is in the male and female stack, is called, what do they call it? A potentiator. So it increases the potential of any other herb or superfood you're taking with it. So that is the amazing. So if you get a male, a female, or a performance stack, which has the Chad mode, and you apply the discount code 44life on the subscription, you get a 44% off lifetime discount, which you can cancel or modify your subscription anytime. And automatically you're going to get a free $100 bag of the chocolate powder, the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. And I will say, because they're doing a 44% off discount, and usually it's like 20, I do recommend getting the Chad mode. Regardless of what you get, you got to try the Chad mode, man. It is the primo, cleanest pre-workout energy drink in the natural world. I got my dad taking it. I give it to my cousin every freaking birthday. I stock him up, and at Christmas and everything. Every chance I get him some Chad mode, because it's freaking amazing. And he used to do like C4 or the other pre-workouts, which have synthetic colors, synthetic flavors, phthalates, microplastics, all kinds of crazy shit in it. Instead, I got him taking the Chad mode, which is decalcifying, detoxing, superfood, freaking, and keep in mind, the organic caffeine that's cold water extracted from green coffee beans is 1,000 times better than the synthetic caffeine that they put into pre-workouts and energy drinks. On average, like they grow the caffeine instead of actually extracting it. So that's what you're getting with the Chad mode. But just so you know, apparently there's a bunch of people on the site right now, and it is first come, first serve. So if you get a male, a female, or a performance stack, and you apply the discount code 44life, you get that lifetime 44% off discount. You can cancel or modify at any time, and you're getting the free lid powder. Kyle is Shady say, can you add it to my subscription? Yes, you can add. Can we? You can go on the site right now. Choq is like active on the site right now, and you can use the live chat thing to communicate that. You give them your name or your order number or your subscription number, and they can add a Chad mode to your cart and process it tonight, dude. And then you'll get a freebie too, probably a free minerals. Also, someone else asked a good question. PJ Sue said, in fact, 6 weeks, but can be 4 months, but unpaid after 6 weeks. Oh, that's wild, Sue. See, we do seemingly live in a little bit of a society that doesn't prefer that they don't value the importance of a, you know, I mean, how else do you put it, man? It's very strange. Chris James is on a hunting trip. Holy crappers. And he brought a whole tub with him. Dude, Chris James, could you imagine going on a hunting trip, getting all the way out there and not having your Chad mode? Like, that would suck, dude. I don't even leave the house without my Chad mode if it's, any time of day. Exactly. Chalk28 said, I don't leave at home without it. With a username like that, I'm not surprised, dude. But it's true. Like, if you're going out in the day, you're either filling up a full freaking jug of Chad mode or you're bringing the whole tub and then you're dosing it throughout the day. Caleb, you can get the Chad mode in a bundle or individually. Yes, it is on the site as a single subscription. Like, you can get it individually. Just make sure you put the discount code 44life on. You got Shilajit, Tonkat, and Seven Wonders. Wow, that is a freaking stack, Caleb. That is awesome. So wait a minute. You got the Tonkat. The only other thing I recommend is, yeah, exactly, Chalk. Exactly, Chalk 28. That's true. My bad. The thing I have to mention that's imperative, if you're taking the male or female vitality stack and you're getting the Shilajit or the Chalk minerals, or the Irish moss, which is in the female stack. What's important about that is the Shilajit, the Irish moss, and the Chalk minerals, they all got a ton of bioavailable minerals, right? Any food you eat with the minerals, so if you're taking minerals in general and you're eating food, you will get a ton more nutrients from the food you're already eating because you're getting the minerals. Because minerals ignite every biological process in the body, and every single vitamin requires a mineral to activate it. So you do want to make sure you're getting, that's why if you get the male or female stack, it kind of consolidates supplement regimens. You know what I mean? Instead of having to take this, that, and the other, you got your stack. It replaces all kinds of other stuff and also is like 1,000 times better. Like, just so you know, you could go get tar resin on Amazon, the Shilajit tar resin. The only problem is the reason Chalk went with the hot water purified Shilajit, powdered Shilajit, is because that specific source is heavy metal tested. They take the tar, when Shilajit in its natural form is solid. So to get Shilajit into a tar resin, they add 20 to 30% water. Somehow they get away with calling it a concentrate after they've diluted it with 20 to 30% water. But what Chalk did is when Shilajit in its natural form, it's solid. They take that, they use hot water to purify it, then they evaporate the water, making it an actual concentrate, and then they heavy metal test it and standardize it so that dose to dose, you're getting consistent bioactive compounds so that you can expect certain results, which are based on the clinical studies, or what the clinical studies are based on, is that consistent dose. So that's why it's in the male and female stack. Super freaking potent. Chris James is hog hunting. That's freaking awesome, dude. And Angry Toilet Paper got a couple boar last month and a buck private land. Nice, dude. Freaking nice, man. We're on a 200,000 acre ranch. Chris James, and what are you using, dude? Yeah, okay. I got Caleb there. The other thing that's shocking is that when they're spraying all these other well, here's the thing. If you wanted to make a video, for example, actually, I'll save that. I'll save that in a moment. B. Callow said, "We're living in Satan's little season. Read the Bible." An older one, by the way. I'll explain what the Sam hell is happening. You don't have to talk about it, but yeah, there you go. Thanks, B. Callow, or Calla. Yeah, Callow. You're actually one of like several dozen people telling me that we're in this Satan's little season thing. And that's really the first I've heard of it in the last few months. So I do need to research that fully. But that would indicate, from what I heard, that hold on a second, I gotta reply to this. A sec. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so this weather event, the way I figure it, every single time we have a very strange, major weather event, right? And things break down and there's chaos and disruptions and whatnot. That leads to the conditioning of people in, like, for example, Louisiana, who are like, dude, how the hell are we getting snow right now? Which is it's opening the door to be able to say, um, you know, everyone's experienced this climate change, right? Everyone's experienced, like in Texas, that crazy flood. No one, unless someone is really in the know, they'll be like, yeah, like climate change really did affect us. Unless they're like halfway there and they just go, well, freak events happen. I don't think it's climate change. That's a fine stance as well. But when you find out that there is an actually intentional ploy to cause adverse weather events substantially, to be able to then condition the populace into believing that the climate is changing rather than that the climate is being manipulated, there's a political angle to it, big time. And I told you guys that there was a YouTube channel. I think it's been deleted now, but it was called Friends of Science. And dude, they are scientists exposing the hypocrisy of the climate change narrative. I have a book called Fake Catastrophes and Invisible Threats to Humanity, right? Or something like that. And it talks about how a ton of like the most catastrophic things that are allegedly happening in this world are either invisible or like impossible for you to confirm for yourself. For example, carbon dioxide. It's invisible. It's the boogeyman. It's why we need to pass laws, regulations, carbon taxes, smart cities, and all this because of climate change and carbon. Another one is the ice caps melting. None of us have been to the ice caps, unless one of you has, let me know. But I'm pretty sure they just posted an article that there was like a huge growth of the ice caps like in 2024 or something, or 2025. So that's kind of gone. But it was this big scary thing. Oh my God, the ice caps are melting. The ocean levels are going to rise. Something you can't see. The ocean level has stayed constant, by the way, since the 1800s. I posted a picture somewhere in Australia, actually, um, of there's a certain point on a certain coast, and this guy took a picture of this lighthouse, and you see where the water level is, and like 100 and however many years later, it's exactly at the same spot. So the ocean level's rising, another invisible catastrophe. You can't see it, you can't prove it, but apparently it's about to happen. Coral bleaching. When corals, like the great, another Australia thing, the Great Barrier Reef, they say, oh, massive parts of it are bleaching because of the warming oceans. Coral bleaching is a natural part of the life cycle of coral. And the warmest oceans in the world have the most biodiversity. So even if it was warming, um, that is not a spooky thing. Okay. Um, and then what's another invisible catastrophe? Well, actually, the book does mention about how wind farms are a total scam, but that's a little bit different. But yeah, it is shocking. There's all these invisible fake catastrophes that they use to fearmonger us into accepting nefarious agendas, really. Angry Toilet Paper said, can we talk about how this planet is a soul farm? Well, first, let's talk about if we're really on a planet. You mean this plane? You can't get planet without plane, right? So anyways, it's a very interesting deception. We were obviously put here at this pinnacle moment in history to be a part of the unfolding of events. And I'd like to think that it's a very good unfolding of events. Whatever is going to happen, there is a, you know, benevolent thing behind it, right? What I mean by that is if all this was prophesized and the Hopi prophecy about cobwebs being woven in the sky near the day of purification, and you know, it does seem like this reality is quite scripted. I think we're on some type of spiritual journey that's going to lead us to a certain point where we either, I think there's only one option. I think that we will win. I don't think that we will be enslaved to AI. I think that's the plan. But I think it's like this almost it's a trippy thought, man, really what we're in here. Because even if you just go down one rabbit hole, like I mentioned yesterday, like the GMO rabbit hole, the fluoride rabbit hole, and you find out the truth behind all that, it is clear there is some nefarious things going on. And when you go further, you realize it's also quite coordinated. Rather than random happenings around the world, they are actually all connected. And there has to be something behind this. It's evident, right? So, for example, they mentioned how we don't want to lose the AI race to China. So we need to build our AI faster, better, stronger now because we don't want to lose the AI race. Alternatively, you could see that as the agenda is to make AI, but we'll sell it to you with the idea that we don't want to lose some some race with China. You know what I mean? And so rather than unplugging AI and focusing on the natural world, we are doing something else, which is why, again, we could be talking about Michelle Obama and, you know what I mean? We could be talking about all this stuff, but really at the end of the day, we don't want to plateau at knowing these like conspiracies, quote unquote, but also have a calcified pineal gland and be full of microplastics and pesticides, because that is 100% part of the plan. And that's why we talk regularly about decalcifying, detoxing, and why we are giving away the free lit powder tonight. So that's the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. A bunch of people are on the site right now. You're getting it for free if you add a male, a female, or a performance stack to your cart and apply the discount code 44life. So that's the site right there, choq.com. The male and female stack have shilajit and ashwagandha. The difference is in the male stack, you have the Tongkat 100, which is wild crafted Tongkat Ali from the chemical free Malaysian rainforests, which boosts free testosterone 87% in 21 days, plus sperm count, sperm motility, mental clarity, muscle mass, muscle recovery, and muscular endurance. It's a freaking superfood. It's a powerhouse. That's in the male stack. And then in the female stack, you have the wild crafted Irish moss, which is certified wild crafted from Nova Scotia. It has the full matrix of minerals. It's rebuilding your DNA because minerals build your DNA. Minerals are frequencies of light, and your DNA is light codes. They work together. And that's why I do love I mean, guys and girls can take the male and female stack, goes both ways, but it's to make it convenient and easy to know, okay, there's the boom #1 stack for men and the stack for women. But of course, guys can take everything in the female stack and women can take everything in the male stack. It's just a combo. And again, the next 3 or 4 people, because there is a bunch of people on the site right now, the next 3 or 4 people who get any one of those stacks and you apply the discount code 44life on the subscription, you get that lifetime 44% off discount, and you get the $100 bag of organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, which you're going to freaking love, by the way. Delicious, detoxing, and full of antioxidants, which we're not getting enough of today. You know how if you're eating 100% organically today, you're getting less than 10% of the full matrix of minerals? Well, also, even if you're eating 100% organically today, there's not as much nutrients in the food because the soil, like, dude, if you go buy a bunch of only organic food at like Aldi's or whatever grocery stores you guys have, like 95% of it is grown as a monoculture on like an industrial farm. Like even organic, we don't use pesticides, we use like organic fertilizers. But we're talking about on a mass scale where there's not too much of a connection with the farmer and the field. It's not small scale. We're not talking farmers markets here. We're talking big stores with big farms and shareholders and everything. I mean, I get it, but it's also a little bit you're not getting the nutrients aren't there. The nutrients are not the way they used to be. And that's also just because of the fact that the soil, let alone that aluminum, barium, and strontium are being sprayed on us every day. But also, you don't have like a no-till farm that supplies grocery stores. They don't even accept that. If you were to make like a super organic farm, best food ever, blah blah blah, but you only grew like 150 pumpkins or whatever, like you need to hit these massive numbers for them to even accept you, which most small farmers aren't able to do. And also, you need all these certifications. If you want to have an organic farm, you got to pay thousands of dollars and be inspected. And it's like farmers don't even want to get certified organic. They'd rather just sell it privately or like at a farmer's market and not deal with the grocery store. They want the mega farms. They want the industrial farms. And that's not to our betterment, man. So my point is, if you're taking the male or female stack and you're getting the shilajit or the Irish moss, you're getting those minerals that we're not getting from food anymore. And you're getting more nutrients from the food you're eating in the first place. Like I said, because vitamins require minerals to activate them. Terminator movies definitely were telling us something, dude. And the Matrix movies, Terminator and Matrix, I know, dude. Some of the most famous movies have the underlying theme is that AI and machines are going to enslave humanity or will enslave humanity. I think one part of it is that they're trying to condition us to accept that as a reality. Another one is they're trying to program us to help us to manifest that reality. That's the trippy part when they get us to watch these movies, or we ourselves watch these movies, and then it programs our consciousness with the like a visual you get of like, yeah, AI taking over, and thinking creates things, right? So when millions and millions of people are thinking, you know, AI, artificial intelligence, machines, robots, like that's helping manifest it. That is how it works. That's half the thing with Hollywood. Remember too, Hollywood is a homage to the holly tree that in ancient, Greece or whatever, was the tree that was believed to have magical powers. And wizards and witches would use the sticks from the holly tree to make their wands to do magic. Now we have Hollywood. Why'd they come up with that name, right? Why'd they pick that name? Because the entertainment industry engages in its black magic. It's a form it is a form of magic, of hypnosis. Entertainment, we know, means to entrain the mind. Um, you know what's funny too? Government. Ment in Latin is mind, and govern is to control. Is government mind control, dude? I don't know, but I know fluoride is. So we'll start there. But it is shocking, you know. And then also the fact that Bill Nye is a funny guy, dude, because he used to be. We thought he was cool. He's a super climate guy. Do you guys remember when Leonardo DiCaprio got elected for some award and he went up there and instead spoke about climate change? I remember my one friend was like, "Yo, dude, my how cool was that? Like Leo like went on stage and instead of like accepting his award, he like spoke about the environment." And I went and watched it. I'm like, dude, he didn't say anything about GMOs, fluoride, pesticides, nothing. He went on about how we need to save the climate, which is like a code word, or there's some other type of word that describes it, but it's like a red herring. It's a it's a it's conditioning to accept this climate narrative rather than be thinking about you know what is really going on. So it's a total agenda, man. Non-toxic said they need weight loss help. Well, what I can say non-toxic is that one of the benefits I didn't mention about the Shilajit is that it does support a healthy calibration of one's metabolism. Of course, it's good to also do fasting, intermittent fasting. I think I lost at least 25 pounds doing intermittent fasting. So I just wouldn't eat all day and then I would just eat dinner. But you can even go fancy and do freaking keto or something. I've never done that before though. Or do an 8-day water fast like I did, which was badass but hardcore. But actually, not even that hardcore, really. I mean, after the first 3 days, it wasn't even hard until on the day 8, I started watching YouTube videos of like food and like crazy feasts and restaurants, and I was like, dude, man, let's eat. It's a spiritual, dude. When you fast and actually get past day 3, it is like an emotional detox. They say I wouldn't really feel emotional on it, but like it's something weird about not getting stimulated with flavors for 8 days straight. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how much food takes up your mind every day when you're eating it, a bunch of times a day. It's an interesting thing. Yeah, I think it leaves room in your mind for like new concepts, ideas, and frequencies when food is absent from the body, you know? Asher said he's going to get 3 Chad modes. Dude, Asher, if you get 3 Chad modes, you're definitely getting a freebie, dude. Just make sure that you put in that discount code, of course, which I think you're fully aware, the 44 life. Anyone else on the fence too? We have 3 more bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia to include in people's orders because someone just ordered a male stack. Congratulations, dude! Just got the male vitality stack. You're gonna get a free chocolate powder in your order. You're gonna be freaking stoked. Delicious, detoxing, superfood. You're gonna love your mail stack, and you're gonna love the freebie. Shout out to who just got the mail stack, but that does mean we have only 3 more bags of lit powder left to give away. Non-toxic. What I would do, he said, so just don't eat. No, dude. So look, if I'm telling you that I think fasting is a good thing, which is when you don't eat for a bunch of days, I recommend, or even just one day, like 24 hours, do some deep dives on like the health benefits of fasting and different people's thoughts and opinions on fasting, and then come up with your own kind of like. My thing was just, yeah, I stopped eating on I started the fast in the morning, so it's not like I woke up, ate breakfast and lunch, and then just didn't eat dinner, or ate dinner and then started my fast. I started my fast in the morning, and then I broke my fast. In hindsight, I'd break my fast with like fruit or something, not the big meal that I had when I broke my 8 day fast. Not that I felt like horrible after or whatever, but apparently it's better for your body to ease into it with like fruits and stuff. But yeah, so what did I watch on fasting that got me into it? Just I guess go on YouTube, dude. You'll find it. It just means you take a bit of a break. Apparently, after day 3, your digestive tract fully shuts down, and all that energy that usually is spent digesting food instead is allocated to cell rejuvenation and cell restoration and detox. And back then, I didn't even have or even know about Shilajit yet. But apparently, Shilajit, when you're fasting, is like a freaking hack, dude. Like a 4 day fast when taking Shilajit is equivalent to like a 6 day fast without. Like it speeds up, it increases the thing. And apparently, it also, the other thing that's interesting that apparently Shilajit does is when you're fasting, you don't get like the hunger pains. That's an opinion. There's no clinical study on that. But a lot of people say when you take Shilajit while you're fasting, you don't get like the unfortunate, like nauseous feeling that you get if you're fasting, just free balling it. You know what I mean? Um, so that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, even just, dude, try a fast even for like 48 hours, man. Um, it's freaking great. And you'll come out of it stronger, faster, better. It's awesome. Selena, when you make a commitment to the thing is, it's almost I was talking to my brother who's wanting to fast, and he's like, but dude, like with my girlfriend or something, she wants to like go out to eat or like cooking. It's like I want to be like alone to fast. And I was like, bro, I don't know if I could have done an 8 day. I mean, of course we're capable of anything, but an 8 day fast was handy being solo uh in a house that I was the only one in. It was definitely easier doing it that way for sure. Afro said I was doing a little research on the history of Greenland and about Project Iceworm. Which one is that again? Remind me, dude. Remind me that what that one is. I just eat 3 or 4 hours out of the day and do it in the afternoon. So what do you mean, Copper? Like you eat for 3 or 4 hours a day? Damn, man, that's a crazy. That's a new diet if I've ever heard one, bro. Are you serious, man? Holy crappers. Tyler said, I've been seeing them consistent in Washington, especially these past few days. Signs that the poles are weakening. What, the chemtrails or something? Let me know. Project Iceworm was a special 1960s U.S. Army initiative to build a 2,500-mile network of underground tunnels in the Greenland ice sheet. Damn, eh? They're going to run into something up there, dude. Picture this. When the Great Flood happened, I wonder if anything's frozen in that ice in Greenland. Like, imagine there's another, a mammoth or like a giant. Dude, there's probably, unless the giants, when they drowned, all got eaten by fish really quick, I wonder if there's a frozen giant. Not that, I mean, if they found a frozen giant in Antarctica, or rather in the North Pole, or freaking Greenland, I I would hope that someone would leak it. Actually, to be honest, I just went to a steak dinner with my grandsons and my birthday dinner. Ate too much. Need to fast now. LOL. Shout out to Sunny. Is BD your birthday dinner? No, BD dinner would be birthday dinner dinner. So what's my BD dinner? Let me know, Sunny. But that sounds freaking awesome, guys. Remember to Sunny. In 1968, she was in 11th grade and she designed the Orange County flag, which is the current Orange County flag in California right now, which is pretty freaking cool. So shout out to Sunny for her Orange County flag artwork that made it, that won the freaking race. Oh yeah, so Tyler said Northern Lights and Schumann resonance are going crazy. Yes, Sunny has been discussing about the Northern Lights. Dude, I was a bit concerned because I guess I'm trying to fit this into my current worldview, which is a normal thing to do, but you don't want to have confirmation bias. But I'm like, I don't think the sun is a ball of fire 93 million miles away. I think it's local. It's definitely flat. What we're on, not the sun. But then, are solar flares even real? Or are they saying solar flares are happening, but it's actually maybe just energy coming out. I mean, a solar flare would be energy coming out of the sun either way. If it was a ball of fire, like they say, or if it was like a ball of energy that could still emit like magnetic waves and shit, right? But what they called last year when like the whole world saw northern lights, they said that it was from the sun, but then also the HARP stations were going crazy, cranked up to the max freaking dial and frequencying the whole world. So I don't know if some of these northern lights are like organic, so to speak. You know what I mean? Um, oh, that's right, copper. So that's cool. And apparently we're supposed to eat our biggest meal when the sun is at its peak too. But you know what? I don't know about that because like the ancients, you know, all day they'd be doing shit and then they'd eat dinner. I wonder, man. I don't know if there's any one right way. Like my nan lived to 98 and she didn't have like a hardcore regimen, but she did have a shot of olive oil every day. But you know what the weird thing is, dude? You know that this is the first time that the life expectancy is going backwards? Like it's unlikely that the average person today is going to live longer than their grandparents did. And that's because the average person today, not like you guys, but the average person today, fluoride, GMOs, chemicals, chemtrails, pesticides, all this crazy shit, which our grandparents didn't have for like the first, what, 30, 40 years of their lives. You know what I mean? Like if my nan's 98, so let's say she was 100, 1916, let's say she was born. But I guess it was 1918 that she was born. Holy shit, eh? 100 freaking years. But we used to live 900 years. Is that crazy? But anyway, so in 1918, when she was born, there was no pesticides. They did start doing synthetic herbicides in World War II. And after World War II, they started doing pesticides. So she got a good 20, 30 years where the food supply was like the farmer down the road grew it. Um, for the first 30, 40 years of her life. Then our parents, I'm saying our parents, we all have different aged parents, but my parents being in their 60s, they were the first generation who went away from the farm raised stuff in general, and they were the low fat trad, or fad rather, low fat fad of margarine, seed oils when they launched them, Coke and chips, sodas and pops and all this shit. You know what I mean? So we are the second generation of the beginning of a shitty diet, basically. But here's the weird thing. GMOs were released or started being produced in the 90s, early 2000s, right? The studies that the French scientists did on rats showed that the third generation of rats that were exposed to glyphosate, which is the pesticide that is sprayed on GMOs, the third generation of rats were completely infertile. So if we translate that to us, then it would be our kids' kids would be basically infertile. So are they doing a long play of infertility and depopulation? Like, you know what I mean? Something is definitely changing, Tyler. And this Schumann resonance, I think, is legit. I do think it's legit. And but the last time there was a Schumann resonance spike, I posted it and I got a weird fact check, which it didn't let me appeal, and it like made my page not eligible for recommendation, which means it won't go to the explore feed. And the fact check said like, no, the Schumann resonance doesn't mean catastrophe is about to happen. And I was like, I would have appealed it and said, I didn't say that in the fucking video, so fact check properly. I said like, whoa, the Schumann resonance is off the charts, but they fact checked it as if I was saying the Schumann resonance means catastrophe is coming around the corner. So I don't know if I'm going to post about the Schumann resonance again, but I might. Wow, Chiehawks grew up on a farm. That is freaking awesome, dude. That was also the same thing. Our grandparents grew up on farms also. Okay, holy shit. Happy birthday, Sonny. We'll see you tomorrow. Shout out to Sonny. Listen, someone just got three Chad modes and an ashwagandha. So they are definitely qualifying for the free bag of lit powder. Congratulations to who just got the Chad modes and the ashwagandha. I think that was probably Asher. That means we literally have two $100 bags of the chocolate powder left to give away for free to the next two people who get a male, female, or a performance stack subscription at chalk.com. That's choq.com. Check it out. Even if, I know some people, they aren't into superfoods, but listen, as a person who has done a lot of research on the pesticides and all the crazy shit that we're exposed to. Like literally 90% of us have glyphosate and atrazine in our bloodstream. I wouldn't say 90% of us on the stream though, because a ton of you guys are taking chalk and probably eating organic and stuff. But I will say, like, from my research, there isn't some like secret other thing that I really think you guys should do to be detoxing the stuff out of your body. This is what I do. The shilajit, the ashwagandha, the Irish moss, the chocolate, the chad mode, all of these superfoods are in the known world within the ice wall. um these are the top superfoods that are in the known world. Like, I don't know if there's about to be another, type of shilajit or something like shilajit that's about to be discovered. So far what we got is shilajit was secretly studied by the Russian military uh for 40 years. Superfood. The ashwagandha is an ancient herb in India. They call it it's considered the king of herbs, and it's a hormone optimizer, it's a fertility booster, it's pro-fertile, so that helps to rejuvenate and restore from all the endocrine disrupting chemicals that we've been exposed to our whole freaking lives, including those whack ass annoying stink bomb freaking plug-in air fresheners, which are toxic as hell, dude. You guys wouldn't even freaking believe how bad those are. They should have a warning label on them that it can cause infertility, birth defects, all kinds of crazy shit. It's shocking. You know what I mean? So it's insane. Tyler said, man, do you ever picture what if these live streams were not virtual but physical? Like a room full of 100 people, Chad mode on top, and lit powder hot chocolate. Dude, Tyler, I have thought about that before. Like when a video gets like I had a video on TikTok the other day get 10 million views, and I'm thinking, holy fuck. So first thing, that is like three or four Torontos. That is, what city has 10 million people in the States? I don't know. Like maybe Austin or something. Like, tell me, guys, New York has like a bajillion people, but I'm thinking that is like 100. That would be 100 berries, Barrie, Ontario. I'm thinking, put it into perspective. It is shocking, but dude, if we did, could you imagine the vibrations of 100 people in a room decalcified? Did you know apparently there's actually a little bit of a did you know there's a little someone said that there's a law. Let me check this out before I say it just to make sure I fact check myself. Hold on a sec. Yeah, but dude, the vibration is hold on a sec. If 100 people were decalcified sitting in the same room or building, like, yeah, dude, that's a powerful vibe. Imagine, I mean, technically, it's not any more powerful than what's going on right now, though, because energy knows no distance. But I do know people go to like events and shit, and everyone, like, the crowd is hyped up. I know that's a different feeling. Perhaps there definitely is something different about being in person, of course. But in theory, energy knows no distance. So even all of us on here right now, like, this is a powerful vibration. Picture this for a second. If there is a evil Illuminati, which I'm actually glad there is, because since there is, so many people have come back to realizing that if they're rebelling against God and the natural world, and that they believe in Satan, that means the opposite obviously exists. So it's actually made a lot of people believe in God and the entire creation story and everything, because it's true. And so that is one positive of it. But my point is that the vibrational frequency of that many people focusing on one thing, even just 100 people, we could probably lift the freaking roof off of the building, man, just with our consciousnesses. Um, there is something to it 100%. It's like the double split experiment. You guys know that story? I actually completely forget it, but I know it's a crazy one. It's something that it's like the object changes based on if it's being observed or not, which is like quantum, you know. Shout out to B Callow. Shout out to B Callow. There's like four or five more people who are at checkout right now at chalk.com, but we only have 2 bags of lit powder left to give away. So if you are on the site right now, choq.com, and you have a male, a female, or a performance stack in your cart, I do suggest humbly that you quickly apply the discount code 44life to get you that 44% off lifetime discount, and then place your order so that you get the free $100 bag of the chalk lit powder, the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. The other thing too that I wanted to mention is this. One second here. The other shocking thing is this. Well, non-toxic. What I was saying to you, dude, is, or I say dude, but I don't necessarily know your gender exactly, nor would I ever wish to assume it. But anyways, so dude, fasting, intermittent fasting, the Shilajit supports healthy metabolism, not just hormone metabolism, but metabolism in general. Someone made a post and they said, no one who is obese has a calibrated endocrine system. Like no one who had, like, basically it's a problem with, and we see it only in a few countries. You know that Canada is almost as obese, I think, statistically, as the United States. But of course, the U.S. has this, connotation or this big thing people roast them about because there's a lot of, chubbier people. But I see that as when you find out what these food companies are up to, like the United States is targeted because if they weren't so targeted and they weren't having commercials for pharmaceuticals and they weren't polluting the shit out of their food supply and whatnot, that this whole Illuminati plan would like quickly disintegrate. And someone put it like this: they want you fat, stupid, and sick or whatever. And it's interesting, but it's all over the world. They hit different countries in different ways. And the US is targeted in the food way. That's why everyone knows if they go to Europe and they eat the food, they don't get fat, they lose weight. They eat the same thing in the States and then they get fat or they feel like shit, like Mel Gibson said the other day. And so my point is that it's shocking, man. It definitely is a part of an agenda. Anyone who thinks it's just kind of like a willy-nilly thing that corporations think they can get away with more over here, I mean, they technically currently are, but it's because of how powerful the United States is. That's why they're targeted in this way. And that's why we're talking about it right now. But what I was going to say is if all this stuff is true, which we know it is, and that there is, of course, a God, a single God, by the way, not a bunch of willy nilly gods, but one true one, then what we're doing right now should hype you up a little bit more. Like, this is powerful, dude. And what I said yesterday, too, is that any one of you guys, some of you think you're just a regular person. Joey Cool, I hope he doesn't think this, but some people think I'm just a regular girl. I'm a regular guy. No, 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 no. No human being is without purpose in this world. You are specifically, intentionally placed exactly where you are right now for a specific reason to experience that experience of your life. And we all get hit with different challenges. We all get hit with different things. But I'll say this: there's no challenge that can be presented to you that you are incapable of overcoming. It's really mental. It's all in your head. There's no good and no bad. Thinking makes it so is another one. But my point is that it's a beautiful thought knowing that we're placed exactly where we are and we're meant to be there. Because alternatively, the other thought that's opposite to that is we aren't quite where we're supposed to be right now, and we missed out on this, that, and the other, and we shoulda, woulda, coulda this, and we coulda, woulda, shoulda that. You know what I mean? Like, imagine sitting here thinking that. That's not the optimal consciousness. That's not the optimal thing to be thinking. In fact, it's not even true. Anything you think you messed up on, or made a mistake on is really just part of your experience and what you are meant to go through to be able to learn from it. It's a big learning experience, man. Non-toxic to that's exactly what they're doing to me. The only thing is non-toxic, I will say that you don't want to disempower yourself by empowering them by saying they did this to you. Everything we do, and even that happens to us in many ways, we made a choice, right? Um, so, but look. Non-toxic said, I need help. Well, what's beautiful about that is ask and ye shall receive. You know that, eh? Have a freaking prayer. You pretty much are your wishes have already been answered. You're in a room right now with people talking about natural detox, support health, healthy freaking weight and all this stuff. Your prayers have already been answered. You're actually at your destination, which is that you're choosing now to it sounds like you're saying you want to lose weight and that you might be slightly overweight, right? And now you're seeking a way to not be overweight. So you're already in your outcome, man. As opposed to when let's say 6 months ago, were just, for lack of a better word, a bit chubby or fat and sitting there being like, oh, whatever. And now all of a sudden you're like, yo, like, I don't want to be fat. Like, how do I lose weight? You're already in the beginning of your outcome, man. So I'm freaking stoked for you, man. 100%. And also keep in mind too, you can sit there and say, put your hands like this, by the way. That's funny. The prayer hand thing, people think that this positioning of your hands is just kind of like a thing you do. It's just like an old seance. It's an old wives' tale. You know that when your fingers are touching each other like this, first thing, if we had the proper eyeballs that could see, not the proper eyeballs, but I'm saying if we could see frequencies, when your hands are like this, there's a total ball of energy in between your hands. Like your hands are transmitting energy at all times, which sucks that we have to hold our phones all day or that we choose to hold our phones all day because it kind of vamps you a little bit. But my point is that when you put your hands together like this, all of your different parts of your fingers are touching each other. That is stimulating different organs and your pineal gland and all this crazy stuff. Look up reflexology. When you put your hands together like this, it's activating something, man, 100%. But anyway, you put your hands together like that and you say, you could say some type of prayer that says, thank you for showing me the way to the best optimal path to lose weight, or God, please assist me I'm open to receiving guidance on losing weight. And then the next day, all of a sudden, you'll see a post that leads you to a thing and leads you to a website or a video, and boom, you found what you're looking for. Whereas other times, you're not even looking for it and it finds you. So there's no right or wrong way, Joey said, adaptogens and more plant-based foods has helped me. Well, dude, especially if you're not getting like, hardcore Amish organic meats, like, dude, I would not eat any meat from like 99% of grocery stores. After finding out modified atmospheric packaging, which is where they put gases in the plastic packaging of a steak to make it look freaking red when it's actually would be gray because it's like 2 weeks old, that's already been sliced. And all that, even if it's organic, I like to go to the Amish farm or, the meetup and order food from people I can see who are farmers. But yes, but otherwise, like, dude, I mean, I was vegan for 4 years, so I know what you mean, man. The bat said, I'm reading the Bible now, also hard because I'm dyslexic, but getting there. You know what, Bat? I wonder if, like, some people say, I used to say I can't whistle, and I always just thought I couldn't whistle. I'm like, dude, I can't whistle. And then all of a sudden, I was like, it was literally 28, 19, and I was like, dude, I got fucking lips, man. I can whistle. I have a pouch in right now, so I can't whistle, but I can whistle now, and I do a great job at it. And it literally took me like 3 days. I was like, no, I can whistle. I'm going to whistle. I practiced for 3 fucking days, even though I had tried it 1,000 times before. But in my head was like, I can't whistle, and I would try and I couldn't. So what and that reminds me though, the bat is that some people say my anxiety, my depression. Well, then you're taking ownership of a temporary experience or like an emotional experience that's temporary, and people call it oh well, my anxiety. Your anxiety. You mean the anxiety you're experiencing, the overweightness that you're experiencing? Like, these are just an experience, and you can choose a different experience at any time. That's what we got the free will for, man. I heard they use red powder, and one store would bleach rotten chicken and sell it. Dude, I'm not surprised. I know, man. Probably. I haven't heard those two things, but I wouldn't put it past. I guarantee that's happened before. In fact, hold on a second. They do submerge chicken in baths of bleach like chlorine, right? We know that. Copper Rock says, I'm meat based, but I respect the plant based folks. Yeah, as long as they're not like, oh, like, I know what you mean, Copper. But yeah, dude, I was a skinny vegan at one point, and I was maybe, uh, I guess I was normal weight before, but I definitely became a skinny vegan, and then boom, bang, bang. You are supposed to have a little bit of, there's a certain optimal amount of body fat you are supposed to have, though. Like a super skinny person, if there's like a food shortage, like you don't have much fat to burn and energy, stored energy, right? It's like a bear that eats, it fattens up so it survives the winter. Speaking of that storm that's around the corner, holy crappers. Okay, hold on a second. Somebody just got a female vitality stack. Congratulations to who just got the female stack. The female stack at chalk.com has three things in it. It's the hot water purified Shilajit, which is clinically studied. It's a hormone optimizer. It's a fertility booster, super detoxing, believed to decalcify the pineal gland. You will love the Shilajit. It's an herbal mineral compound. Bruce Lee took it. Genghis Khan took it. Vladimir Putin takes it. And Arnold Schwarzenegger takes it or took it. And it was secretly studied by the Russian military for 40 years. It's freaking amazing. The second one in the female stack is the organic ashwagandha, which is clinically studied. It's certified organic. It's 14 times as potent as conventional ashwagandha that you get on Amazon. It massively boosts your sleep quality, and it also, well, healthy mood and focus, stress response, restorative sleep. You get a massive boost in sleep quality while you're taking it, and it's pro fertile. So that's freaking amazing. And then the third one in the female stack, which isn't in front of me right now, is the certified wild crafted Irish moss, which has the full matrix of minerals, super freaking detoxing, rebuilds your DNA, and you'll absolutely love it. So congratulations to who just got the um, female vitality stack, who is also getting the free $100 bag of the chocolate powder included in your order. So shout out to who just got the female stack. That means we literally have one more bag of the chocolate powder left to give away in people's orders. If you go to chalk.com, choq.com, and you add a male, a female, or a performance stack to your cart and apply the discount code 44life, you get a 44% off lifetime discount. You can cancel or modify your subscription at any time, and automatically you're going to get the free $100 bag of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. Shout out to Efro, who said Irish moss is great, makes you feel good. Dude, it's funny because you know what that probably is? Every biological process in the body requires a mineral to activate it. If you get the full matrix of minerals, you're getting more nutrients from your food. It's activating your brain. It's boosting your DNA. There's probably a million reasons why you feel good taking Irish moss, man. 100%. Karate John, just so you guys know, even though like Chris James or some of you guys may be like huge freaking crazy Hulk dudes, Karate John is like a black belt in 7 different martial arts. He's unassuming. I think you'd see him and be like, what's up, man? You wouldn't know that if you like flicked him, he could like snap your finger backwards, kick your feet out from under you, karate chop your ass, and freaking put you up like a freaking pretzel, dude. Karate John probably, unless someone in here is a like a secret like Navy SEAL or something, like Chris James versus Karate John. Karate John knows karate and so many martial arts, he could literally kick your ass. But Chris James was in freaking not Desert Storm. He was in Afghanistan and was a special forces freaking veteran private security contractor, Blackwater type dude. So I don't know who would win, man. But we wouldn't fight each other. We got the Illuminati to deal with. But anyway, shout out to Karate John, man. Freaking guy, crazy. So yeah. But to answer your question, non-toxic says that they what did he say? What should I avoid to lose weight? I'll tell you in 2 seconds. And then he said, the lit tastes effing amazing. Shout out to Non-Toxic, who loves the chocolate powder. I love it, man. I love that you love it. Non-toxic, if I were you, dude, just do this. What worked for me, I should say, in the morning, you have like your coffee, tea, your chocolate powder, your Chad mode, whatever you got. Drink a bunch of water, like 2 liters of water before that is what Tai Chi guy, I heard him. So actually, Seaton who's the owner of Chalk, who has been on the live with us before, he told me that 2 liters of water in the morning is what his Tai Chi master told him, like activates and flushes your liver and all this. So it sounds like sound advice. Chug a bunch of water in the morning before tea and coffee. Then have whatever beverage you have in the morning, the chocolate, the Chad mode, water, tea, coffee, whatever. Then just don't eat all day. Then eat a good dinner that doesn't have seed oils, doesn't have any processed shit, doesn't have an ingredient label because it's a single ingredient, basically. Like, let me tell you what I had for dinner tonight. Tonight I had someone's like joining this live about this like shocking weather event. I'm telling you guys what I had for dinner, but I'm just trying to think like to give examples because sometimes I live so my life, I'm living it in this way, and I don't realize sometimes how different it is to other people's lives. You know what I mean? Like, so what I had for dinner was it was marinated ribeye buffalo steaks, sliced. So it's sliced up ribeye from a buffalo. They're pretty small, like they're not very big. Buffalo steaks marinated with organic soy sauce with no GMO soy. That is the soy sauce that's traditionally made in Japan in cedar barrels and aged for years. And they use spring water from the mountain in this one area to make their soy sauce. And it is like the 1% of soy sauce is made in this way anymore. So it's marinated with that garlic and ginger. Oh, sorry. Oh, fuck. I forgot ginger. How did I forget ginger? Did I forget ginger? No. Yeah, I had ginger. I'm thinking of turmeric. Garlic, ginger, marinade, boom. Okay. Then it was grated carrots, leeks sliced up, mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, white button mushrooms chopped up, shredded carrot. Then a pound of ground beef, organic, pastured, organic ground beef from the one butcher. This isn't the Amish beef. I have the Amish buffalo ribeyes and the organic from a butcher who's a part of a collective of 10 farms that have 80 to 100 cattle each. Angus beef, organic, no freaking vaxes, no bullshit, no hormones, and raised on a pasture and fed organic pea and barley grain at the end of their lifespan to fatten them up a bit, which is what cows would do in the wild if they lived on pasture into the fall. When it comes fall, the plants go to seed. They're actually eating seeds in the field. Cows do eat grain naturally if they're in a field that the plants have gone to seed. Anyway, so ground beef, boom. Fry up the ground beef, fry up the veg, soy sauce, ginger, garlic, boom. Put the lid on, boom, bang, bing. Then it was rice, which I don't know if I'm going to do this fucking rice again, man. I don't like seeing something that's from India, like a food that you eat, specifically rice. Like it's a little bit, it's organic. What the fuck are they watering it with? Where is there water in India that's not polluted to shit? But where do you even get rice? It's either China or India. You want Chinese rice or Indian rice? But I did the trick where you boil the rice for like 5 minutes first, then dump off all that water. That can apparently reduce the heavy metals, cadmium, and some other shit, arsenic from the rice by like 70%. You boil it for 5 minutes first, then you put the amount of water in, a bit less water than it would say, and then boom. So it was rice, and then it was fried up, marinated strips of steak, and then the ground beef veggie mix. That was dinner tonight. I didn't eat all day. I didn't have a snack. I had a Chad mode in the morning. I had a coffee in the morning. I had a chocolate after I shoveled my fucking roof off. I guarantee I would bet my house right now I shoveled more snow today than any single person possibly on this live. Maybe even 1% of the world shoveled as much snow, except if you're in Russia. Russia just got hit with 12 meters of snow. You guys probably shoveled more than me. But I shoveled my entire roof off. That was a freaking grind, dude. Holy crappers. I probably sweat like a gallon of water. I was in a t-shirt -10 on my roof because I'm so sweaty shoveling this freaking snow off my roof. But anyway, my point is that I didn't eat, just lots of water, lots of liquids. You got to have lots of fluids. No Gatorade, and then boom, bang, bang. I had dinner at 4:30. Early dinners. Don't have a dinner at 7, 8 p.m. Because then you go to bed, your stomach's full, you're freaking full as hell, laying down. And we walk after a big dinner too, or any dinner. We usually walk. You got to walk every day or hike. Oh God, be callow. Don't tell me I had freaking plastic rice for dinner. I should have known. I would know the taste difference, I'm sure. California rice basmati, I hear, is actually low in the heavy metals and bioorganic. Okay, so California rice. I forgot that California grows rice too. Good call, dude. Clove water apparently is amazing. You chew on a clove if you got a tooth problem. Um, that's right. I heard about that. So that was just, one dinner, but I'm telling for non-toxic, like, do you cook much? Do you know, um, like, what's your you should like DM me a picture of your refrigerator. Like, in fact, right now, non-toxic, go take a picture of your fridge open wide so I can see what's on the door and what's in the fridge. Take a picture and send it to me on Instagram right now, and I'll give you like a real-time review of what I suggest based on what's in your fridge. Someone asked me if I'm near the Amish. Not really, but there's a delivery point not far away from me at all, where every 2 weeks you order basically online, and then they come deliver a host of, like, place your order online, then they bring everyone's orders up from like 3 hours south, and they deliver raw buffalo milk, raw buffalo cream, sour cream, cheese, every product you get from dairy from buffalo, and it's not pasteurized, and then all kinds of meats, and boom, bang, bing. Uh, that's where a lot of our food comes from, this Amish farm. Just me on Instagram, non-toxic. So Shane Vibes Truth on Instagram. Can I take too much chalk, like too much Tonkat or too much Shilajit? That's a good question, Asher. So two things. The maximum recommended dose for Shilajit is 8,000 milligrams a day, which would be about half of a bottle of Shilajit. So you're not going to OD there. And then for Tonkat, dude, some people have literally 3 or 4 Tonkat bottles. They're taking like 4 to 6 capsules of Tonkat a day. So I don't know what the maximum recommended dose is on the Tonkat, but dude, unless you're going through like half a bottle in a day, like, you're good. You know what I mean? You're going to be fine. And you know what I think too? We don't think about our doses of, you do, Asher, I'm sure, and many of you guys do, but the average person doesn't think about like this whole fluoride thing that came out when RFK was talking about it. We're definitely exposed, or the average person is exposed to a lot more of it than what they say is like a safe limit, because you're showering in it, you're cooking with it, you're bathing in it, you're freaking drinking it. It's a bit shit. Okay, so hold on. Mr. Non-toxic just sent me his picture. Hold on a sec. Are you in your profile picture the one on the left or one in the middle? Because either way, you're not too. Okay, so let's see his fridge. Turn the brightness up here. We have a Coca-Cola. I'm not even joking. It's okay. I'm not, dude. I'm laughing because the first thing I see is a Coca-Cola. So if you want to drink Coca-Cola, that's fine, but don't drink much of it. And I gotta see your door, by the way. You gotta send me another picture of what's on your fridge door, dude. But Mexican Coke in glass, Selena will tell you, is has cane sugar, but it's still like, you don't want to be drinking too much of that, man. The goat milk you got is probably decent. If it's, I can't really see if that's organic, low fat goat milk. Don't worry about fats, dude. Fats don't make you fat. Um, we have buffalo milk, which is A2, which is like 20 something percent fat content, which is like twice as fat as like heavy cream that you get. But it's not like drinking freaking cream. But anyway, it's a high fat content. It doesn't make you fat. You got lemon juice, but in a plastic bottle that's probably pasteurized. Like, dude, buy lemons. Don't use lemon juice. People buy lemon juice. I'm saying this. This may sound like, I don't want this to sound arrogant. I'm just giving you like off the cuff what I'm saying, and it's maybe a lot to take in, but I'm just going to give it to you. All right. Um, so you have French bread pizzas. So your frozen pizzas there. We got glyphosate. It's processed. There's a lot of processed foods. In fact, I don't actually see any vegetables. Your your cheese drawer and your vegetable drawer are completely fucking empty. So that's your first, maybe something we got to talk about. Um, you got these, like, what are these little waters, dude? You can save a ton of money if you don't buy literally any of this shit. Those juices in the bottles, they're fake. Get real fruit, make a fruit juice. I don't really do juices much, man. Like, I just do fruit in the morning, couple oranges, maybe a couple apples, whatever. You don't need to buy fruit juices. They're a fucking scam, and they're processed, right? Up top, I think you got yogurt containers. What's Velveeta again? Someone tell me what Velveeta is. Um, I noticed you have a water pitcher. I think that's a Brita. So Brita does take out bacteria, but there's not much bacteria in no, you don't, dude, non-toxic. You don't suck at all. Your username is fucking non-toxic. You're on the path to your greatest version of yourself. You are your greatest version of yourself right now, and you're going to be a greater version tomorrow. You're asking, you're receiving, you're inquiring, you're wanting to be healthier and whatnot, and you're right where you're meant to be. Don't look at this as, oh fuck, like my shit's messed up. Not at all, dude. You're like, think of how much power mentally it takes for you to be like, yo, I want to lose weight. I want to be healthier. And I'm going to like ask these guys on a live feed and send them a picture of my fridge. Like, you are a Giga Chad, man. Like, everyone hype up non toxic. Like, you're cool, man. This is good. That's my chaser. He says, oh, the lemon juice. Okay, that's fine. But anyway, that's about all I can see in the picture. Oh, yeah, the Brita. So, Brita takes out bacteria. It doesn't take out heavy metals or fluoride. I do recommend going to findaspring.org and finding a physical spring that is near you. Like, where do you live, non-toxic? Because you might be near a beautiful spring that you never seen before that is so amazing. So you got Heinz mustard. I recommend, it's a little bit more money, but you get these little jars that are glass, that are like Dijon or yellow mustard, and there's only two ingredients. It's mustard and apple cider vinegar. No preservatives, no bullshit. So you will love that instead of the processed Heinz stuff. I think there's like forever chemicals in it or something. Um, your butter, as long try to get organic. Any dairy or meat products, you pretty much have to get organic. Start there because if it's not organic, it's like pharmaceutical out, hormoned out, and it's a bit unfortunate. And then you got mayonnaise. Okay, dude, listen to this. Write this freaking one down, bro. Dude, there's a spring in Georgia called like God's Healing Springs or something, and people go to it all the time. Type in findaspring.org, locate a physical spring, and go to this spring, bro. Even if it's a hike, we drive 45 minutes every 6 to 7 weeks to fill up a shitload of jugs of glass or well, we use big plastic jugs to go down to the spring, fill them up, and then we dump them into glass jugs in the back of my truck. But it's a hike. It's fucking worth it. I wouldn't want any other water. Dude, mayonnaise. Listen to this recipe. In fact, screenshot this. I'm going to write it down. So you get one egg yolk. You get, oh, fuck, that sent. Okay, one egg yolk. Teaspoon Dijon mustard, salt and pepper. What else goes in it? If you want finely mince garlic, squeeze of lemon juice, real from a lemon, not from a bottle, okay? Salt, pepper, boom, bang, bang. If you want a shot of hot sauce, organic, and then literally like probably 1.5 cups of legit olive oil in glass, darkened glass, one country of origin, not a blend. Okay, so you put that into a freaking jar, and you, with a immersion blender, which is a good thing to have, you can jam that into the jar with all the stuff I just told you. Pull down the freaking trigger on the immersion blender or emulsion blender, whatever it is. And in about 12 seconds, you have an entire jar of the best mayo you've ever had in your freaking life, dude. And you'll never buy the seed oil mayonnaise that's in your fridge ever again because it tastes so much better and it's with like 7 ingredients that are all legit. That's your new mayo, dude. So screenshot that. I mean, you don't even need to, I mean, you can screenshot if you want, but you can just type in homemade mayo. And it's like literally like that. The olive oil is the only expensive part, really. But and there's probably, dude, Georgia is known to be like, there's organic vibes to it. There's places you can go in Georgia, farmers markets, this, that, and the other. You can get olive oil straight from freaking Italy from someone who's like a wholesaler or like a relative of the farm in Italy. You know what I mean? Tyler said, Shane, you can build an app with AI where users can upload fridge and pantry images, and the AI service will scan and give insights and recommendations into each product, just as you are. Dude, that is one efficient way of doing something. Excellent idea, Tyler. But now that you posted it online, someone is going to do that quickly before we can do it. Darn, man. You should have just psychically sent that idea to me, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, non-toxic, that's what I got for you, man. And then your meats, dude, there is a organic cattle farmer. There's a freaking guy near you who's growing and raising beef and chicken organically that you can get from. And that will cut out the pharmaceutical consumption that comes by way of conventional meats, which also gimps your endocrine system and is like can lead to, I'm sure, weight gain and hormone problems and everything. So that's my thoughts on that non-toxic. Dude, shout out to non-toxic, man. Great username. Dude, so I will mention too, yeah, exactly. B Callow said, I make everything from scratch. I'd recommend doing that. B Callow, could you imagine recommending something else? I don't think we would be able to. Of course, scratch, freaking whole ingredients, 100%. I will post more content about that too, because I guess I've been almost like holding back. Like when I post a video on Trump's plane turning around last minute, like sus kind of conspiracy, what's going on? That's cool and all, but perhaps people would benefit more from me being like, yo, like, here's how we make lunch. Here's how we make mayo. You know what I mean? And save people from eating a bunch of seed oils. I do wonder. Um, Now, non-toxic, the one thing I should mention is that, like, a butcher is like, there's all kinds of butchers around me, but the butcher nearest me just gets his meat from Cisco, which is the biggest food supplier. It's factory farm, it's shit. Butcher doesn't necessarily equate to like pure. You want to find like the butcher I go to, he has friggin' pamphlets in his window about GMOs, cloned meat, weather modification, freaking vaccinating animals, blah 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 blah. I'm not saying you need to find a guy who's that aware, but like, and where he gets his meat from. Go in there, ask like, so where's the meat come from? And it's a bit awkward when they're like, oh, it's just from Cisco, and you're like, okay, thanks, and then you walk out of the store, like, you know what I mean? But it's you got to ask these questions to the butcher. Where's your meat coming from? And they do. A million people come in there a day and say, is your meat organic? And they're like, no, but it's like super high quality. No, you want to get on the level with this guy and be like, where's the beef coming from? Is it a factory farm? And they might say, well, it's factory farm, but it's like free range. All that means, free range is a deceptive marketing term where it just means they're not in like a caged freaking barn and that they're not in individual cages in the barn. You could have cows in, uh, cows aren't usually kept in barns their whole life. They're in a feed lot. They're just standing on dirt and it's shit, but they call that free range. And that is better than a cow being stuck in a barn its whole life, but it's still not ideal. You want pastured, and the beef I get from that butcher I'm talking to you about, it's not certified organic. He tells me they're not paying for getting certified organic, but they don't feed them GMOs. There's no fluoride where they freaking are, and they don't vax them. And they're on pasture and they fed grass and then organic grains at the end of their life. So, these are just some questions to ask. Wow, the bat is a qualified chef. Holy crapper. So she knew the mayo recipe as soon as I started freaking talking about it. You know, it's incredible, the bat. Um, okay, hold on a second. Let me just double check here. Let me see if I think we should have one more bag of the chocolate left to get away. Hold on, let me see. Boom, bang, bing. Yeah, ask them where it comes from because auctions in town, like, you know, unless he's flexing that it's like organically or pastured, it's probably just a feedlot, which is not much hardcore better. By the way, hold on a second, let me see. Okay, there's still several people on the site right now who are scrolling around and browsing. just make sure, because we're onto the last bag of the chocolate powder that we're giving away on the live. If you're on the site right now, make sure you apply the discount code 44life, 44LIFE on the subscription at chalk.com, CHOQ.com. And that unlocks a 44% off lifetime discount, which you can cancel or modify at any time. And automatically, you're going to get that free lit powder in your order if you get a stack. And to the guy in Quebec who was commenting, he said something about, first thing, like half my family's from Quebec. So shout out to the guy from Quebec. Double check that your order went through, because I see here, or Chalk told me rather, that it didn't quite go fully through yet. As soon as it does, you're locked in to get that free bag of chocolate powder, man. So if you're the dear soul from Quebec, congratulations on almost getting your chalk. And I'm vibrationally detecting that you're literally about to place it. So shout out to you, man. Joey Cool said organic hemp seeds from Manitoba. Dude, Joey Cool, that's funny you say that, man. I know that there's that hemp, or Manitoba does produce a lot of hemp seeds and hemp products. And I know the company you're talking about. So we've eaten the same thing, man. That's freaking cool. Um Also, shout out to who was it here? Hold on a second. Boom bang bing. Oh, also, um non-toxic. Pray over your food, bro. I'm not joking in the slightest. The power of prayer to food is like very powerfully important. Um, he said, besides the Chad mode and the lit chocolate, what is the next best thing? Do you mean what, for like drinking, for detoxing, for superfoods? Like, if we're talking superfoods, everything at Chalk is freaking impeccable. Hormones, detox, brain function, etc. We got clinical studies. But if you mean like, yeah, let me know what specifically you mean, because I gave you the rundown on meats. Eggs, you want organic pastured eggs, not free range, not farm fresh, but organic pastured. Otherwise, those are the two certifications you need: organic pastured, or you have some friends who raise their own chickens, which is where I get my eggs from. Um, but then it's still freaking snowing out, man. I do love snow. I'm not complaining, but like I just did a lot of shoveling. I guess I'll have a lot more of shoveling to do. Um, but yeah, organic pastured eggs, boom. Organic butter, boom. Organic any dairy product, boom. Dude, you may even be near non-toxic. You might be near an Amish, like a cow share program, where there's a couple farms that all grow and raise different things, and that's where you could get your whole setup of meat and dairy from, you know, from one spot. That, I guarantee, that exists in Georgia. There's a shitload of farmers in Georgia, although there used to be a bajillion more, you know. Weight loss, if you literally just, let me tell you this, I lost 25 pounds at least from intermittent fasting, not eating all day and then eating at dinner. Yes, at dinner I did have, all organic and shit made from scratch and everything. But if you do intermittent fasting, you're going to lose weight. And if you increase the nutrients and your diet in general, you'd also lose weight. If you combine the two, better diet and intermittent fasting, you will lose all the weight you want to lose, man. 100%. And by the way, the Tongkat and the Chalk Daily that you're taking, which, because that boosts testosterone, it's also going to boost your that supports healthy metabolism as well. So you're good, man. You're 100% good. Okay, hold on a second. So this is basically the last call. I guess we're shutting down the chocolate deal. We'll hold it for the guy in Quebec, who I would say his name, but I don't know it. But shout out to the guy in Quebec. And also shout out to the couple other people on the site. I do want to say that we're going to make sure we extend the deal so that if you place your order shortly after the live, that you're still going to get the freebie included. But we are okay, hold on. We are basically closing it down on this live. Um, can you explain, please? Dude, non-toxic, DM me, man. I'll give you even more of a rundown, but that is like the best I have off the top of my head right now. 6 kilograms from fasting. Wow, 12 pounds. Nice, the bat. Or maybe even closer to 15 pounds. That's freaking awesome. Okay, guys, make sure your live notifications are on Rumble so you know when we're live next, and you don't need to rely on the Instagram lives to know I'm live here. That's right, Copper Rock. That's an excellent, that is something I didn't even say. That's 100% true. Put butter on everything. Good butter. Exactly. Organic. If it's raw, even better. Okay, thank you guys all for joining this live. We'll see you on the next Deer Live tomorrow. And remember to use that code 44life on the subscription. So you get full pop, 44% off for life, and you will get the freebie. DM me if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. Keep your head on a swivel with this damn crazy storm that's coming. And much love, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll see you on the next one, all right?